What a fight we had today between Chris Eubank Jr. versus Connor Benn. And before I get into that, man, I just want to thank you guys that be showing up for my streams. You guys make it enjoyable for me. When you guys turn up, we turn out. You guys have great input. Let's talk about the fight. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Connor Benn. Where do we start? Well, let's start with the fact that Chris Eubank Jr. paid $375,000 for coming in overweight. I think he came in a couple of ounces overweight. I mean, you could have shaved your mustache. You could have shaved your ball sack. You could have made the weight, but it goes to show you how hard it is to make weight sometimes, man. Cutting weight, you can go into organ failure. The man even released the footage last night of him trying to make weight, and he couldn't. It looked like he was dying, but he paid the fine. He weighed in this morning, and they had a great fight, and man, they did not disappoint. And let's talk about the fact that Chris Eubank Sr. did show up to support his son, and I'm so glad he did, because if he didn't, it would have been a travesty. It would have been so sad. Even Nigel Benn was happy to see that Chris Eubank Sr. was there. He's like, man, I'm glad he's here for his son, to support his son. I'm here for my son. Today it ends. The rivalry, the name. They're not fighting for a title. They're fighting for legacy, their name. Benn versus Eubank. My heart was beating from round one, but before they even started the fight, Chris Eubank Jr. has a concert, damn near a concert, taking his time, strolling down to the ring. You know, Connor Benn was so upset by that. He was ready to punch him by the time he got into the ring. And then they didn't even want to touch gloves, but the referee made them touch gloves. Like, hey, man, you're going to touch gloves. And speaking of the ref, that man earned his check today. But starting from round one, the size was apparent. You could see that Connor Benn is the smaller man. Let's put this into perspective. Connor Benn is a 147 pounder. The weight limit was 160. He couldn't even make 160. He made like 156. If he would have put on any more weight, it would have been uncomfortable. Eubank Jr., on the other hand, it was hard for him to make 160. So you got one guy that's hard for him to make weight. The other guy, it's hard for him to put on weight. So Connor Benn was the smaller man. And the fact that Connor Benn made this fight so competitive shows me that if they were in the same division, same height, same weight, I think Eubank Jr. would have got knocked out today. But in the end, I think it was experience that took over, not so much him being the bigger man. I mean, it showed in the last couple of rounds, but for the most part, every time Connor Benn touched Eubank Jr., he was hurting him. He was stunning him. He just didn't put, enough foot on the gas, his timing was a little bit off. There was a couple times where he missed him by this much. Eubank Jr. was staying on his jab and throwing check left hooks, and as time went on, he kind of like got tired and was slapping that left hook, and that's where he got caught in between exchanges too. During the last two rounds, Eubank Jr. just put it on him, bro. Like, he kind of bullied him. Even Connor Benn even said the last two rounds, he took it to him. But Connor Benn's got nothing to be ashamed of. The man is a 147 pounder. I would love to see him fight Blair Cobbs or Brian Norman Jr., even a Jerron Boots Ennis. He just needs to get a little bit more experience and maybe work on his technique. He's got everything else. He's got the heart, he's got the power, he's got the will, the tenacity. He's even got the stamina, in my opinion. Eubank Jr., on the other hand, I think he's earned a fight with Canelo. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying he beats Canelo. I'm saying everybody gets a Canelo ticket, right? So why doesn't he's 35 years old? He's not going to be fighting much longer, right? Let him get the Canelo payday and sail off to the sunset. Now, as far as the names go, Eubank versus Benn, oh man, let's take a look at it, man. Eubank Jr. has beaten Benn every single time, except for the one time their fathers had a draw. The first time their fathers met, Eubank Sr. knocked out Nigel Benn. They had a rematch, and it was called a draw. A lot of people think Nigel Benn won. Fast forward years later, the Sons put up a Fight of the Year contender, a legendary fight, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it, and Eubank Jr. won. So once again, Eubank Jr. has beaten Benn. Connor Benn has nothing to be ashamed of, man, but he was devastated towards the end of the fight. He had his face in his father's chest, and he didn't want to take. I just know that man's devastated, and I just know that both of the fathers are proud, man. And as a fan, look, man, I made out. As a fan, I feel like I won watching the fight. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, I'm starting to enjoy calling these fights. My anxiety be getting up all the time, and I don't know why I be drinking these energy drinks while I'm watching the fight. Like, one of these days, I'm just gonna pass out from all the excitement. But you guys, man, make it enjoyable for me to do this, man. And like I said, I don't have a big following, but I have a loyal following. And when you guys turn up, we turn out, and you guys have great input. Until next time, it's Ghost. Have a great weekend.